This is our official introduction. If you're just joining us now, this is Pentacast Riot versus Community Game Night. I am Octavia. Here with me is my partner in crime, Skill Factory, and we are just getting started. It's going to be a best of three matchup. This is the first game. It's going to be a standard Summoner's Rift. No rules, no regulations, no restrictions. On the blue team, we have the community. On the purple team, which is going to be the red team when we load in, is our Riot team. And will you go ahead and introduce who we have playing right now?
It looks like the people that did accept the awesome invites to this great night is going to be Weaselord23, who already locked in the MF, and they're going fast with the champions. So we have
They are.
Splendid Pie, Towlette, the Crane Man, and Two Refined. And so the Riot team, I mean, I'm actually excited to see Torast. I've actually never seen Torast in a RVC, although he sounds like he has been regular before. And we have the early lock-ins from Tizza and Aether on Amumu and Blitzcrank. And then rounding out that team is Still Rampin' and Mixed DJ.
Yeah, Taurus, I believe, was with us one time in the past, and we are happy to welcome him back. The rest of these guys you've definitely seen before. Aether, Rampant, and Mixed DJ. And yeah, just running through the bands super quick for the community side. Shen, always a good band. Kha'Zix is, even after his changes, very scary right now. I believe those nerfs went into effect with this patch. But even still, I've done a game on him, and he's still devastating. And then Rengar being targeted there, so they don't want any scary bruisers that are going to surprise you and go mid and eat your mage, and they don't want Shen because he is master of all split push. For the bans on the Riot side, Pantheon, Malphite, and Shaco. Shaco, not something we see banned super often right now unless you're into the higher yellow. Pantheon, of course, is another one of those bruisers that's really popular mid right now and can just devastate your mage. And Malphite, Unstoppable Force, story is over. He's terrifying. So you mentioned the Misfortune. Who else do we have for the community team?
The community looks like they're probably going to run the MF Tarek down bottom. And then they have Towlette playing Elise. And I don't think we've seen an Elise in one of these games yet, but I think she's actually a really strong champion. Whether she's running top or middle, I feel like her strong CC with that line stun and then being able to combo in caster form and then switch to spider form, close the gap with repel, and then just do a ton more damage with her little spiders, just makes her like unable to trade with. But at the same time, we have the Vayne and Zed, and we saw Zed mid, I believe, was it 2 weeks ago?
It was 2 weeks ago, and it was still rampant.
Yes, yes, and he was pretty good with the Zed mid. He got pretty happy with diving towers and just trading with the Orianna. But at the same time, if he's quick enough, dodging that stun is going to be no problem.
Absolutely. And then to round out the team, it looks like Zyra gonna go be against Zed mid, which I'm not sure how it's going to play out. It's going to be a lot of poking, a lot of tentative, trading damage and good stuff, but they both have great ultimates for just kind of jumping on someone and ending their life. And they bring good stuff to the team fight. I think Zyra might have a little more since she does have that giant AoE CC ball of goodness to drop in the middle of a team fight and CC like everyone ever. And then Olaf, so popular. We saw it in the qualifiers. Olaf was picked or banned pretty much every single game. He's back in popularity. His top lane and his jungle are devastating. The true damage, Ragnarok to just run at you, and he's got Ghost as you can... Oh, whoops, he doesn't have Ghost. I would never give away what summoner spell he has, because that's just silly. Anyway, you know how he is. He runs at you, Undertow so strong. That true damage is just boss, great pick for the top lane. And then purple team, we got Hook City. As we mentioned, we're going to have Blitzcrank and Vayne mid lane. I've seen some pretty decent combinations as far as those, especially when you can grab them and then Vayne can condemn them into a wall, and then they're just CC'd forever. Then you're going to have a Mumu. Curse of the Sad Mummy, AoE, CC, always super strong, but he's very blue dependent, so they're going to have to watch out for the counter jungling. If they take his blue, Amumu has to really, really struggle to catch up and keep pace with the enemy jungler, which is going to be Elise. Looks like for the mid... Wait a second. I'm gonna say
It's
TF, man. Was I lying through my teeth?
I'm not sure who's going where exactly. I mean, I'm pretty sure with the 80 carry and supports down bottom, but with
Mm-hmm.
the Elise, Zyra, and Olaf, I would assume that
Mm.
Olaf would jungle Elise top, Zyra mid. But that might
Okay.
not necessarily happen. And then at the same time, we have still rampant on Zed and TF. I feel like TF his ultimate
TF is gonna mid,
is going to be
right?
wasted if he's not mid. I mean,
Okay.
it's not global anymore.
Mm-mm.
You have to be pretty much halfway to their lane, especially at the lower levels of the ultimate to actually even get there. So I would assume that he's going mid and still rampant will be up top. But we'll
Ah,
find out
okay.
soon enough.
Yeah, I can totally see that. And you're right. Like, I didn't take Destiny into account if he is top lane. I mean, he can gank mid lane, right? I mean, that could be exciting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely see Zed as a competent top laner as well as a mid laner. So, I'm curious to see how Zed can cope with Olaf, though. I mean, Zed isn't. I believe I haven't played him yet, but I'm pretty sure that most of his attacks are at range, right? He like throws a shuriken and that kind of stuff. And then Olaf also has his undertow and stuff. So it's just gonna have to be what it is, and I'm really excited to cast it because it's probably gonna be a really aggressive lane,
It's
which is always fun for us.
it's going to be really interesting because they both have a. I mean, Zed's slow is technically ranged because he can move his shadow out, and his shadow will do the AoE as he does, so he can get that
Hmm.
slow and harass with his Q. But at the same time, I mean, Olaf's going to be tossing axes, and as soon as he lands an axe, that's when Olaf runs in, picks up his axe, drops another axe, and hits you with the undertow. And if you decide to trade with him, his last ability, I can't remember the name of it, but it does give you life steal as you're auto attacking. So it's to his
Oh.
advantage if he makes those engagements and he gets the auto attacking off. But in the same respect, still rampant is definitely going to have the range because his
Hmm.
shadow basically is an extension of him, and you can always swap. So it's great to get away with, and it's great to use range harass.
Yeah, I see that, and it's gonna be pretty awesome. I'm glad to see Vayne. I haven't actually seen Tizza play Vayne. He was probably upset because you know what? Misfortune is like Tizza's girl, and then Weasel Lord first picked Misfortune. So I don't know if that was intentional or he just wanted to play Misfortune. But Tizza's going. I know he can play pretty much any AD carry at a very competent level, so it's exciting to see him pick up someone as like hyper carry as Vayne can be, especially in late game. And if you look at their team, they are pretty much gonna want to buckle down for the mid to late game. They do have Vayne who excels in that area. Amumu just gets tankier and scarier. Blitzcrank is always scary in my personal opinion, and then TF as well can kind of do really well into the late game. I'm like sad that we're not seeing more teleports because I would love to see more teleports. The teleport games we saw in
The Korean,
the
right? The OG
yeah,
OGN.
the OGN, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's really popular with them, and you get devastating like 4-man ganks bottom lane, where
I
that
think
in,
it
like
was
that
actually
combination,
Mixed DJ on Twitter who was complaining about getting four-man ganked multiple
right?
times at by 10 minutes. He had already been four-man ganked twice
Mm-hmm.
by the double teleport combination. And it's one of those hit or miss types thing. It's like a fiddle ultimate. It's so awesome for ganking, but if you mess up the gank and you don't get the kills, it puts you so far behind in your lane. Like if they're down bottom and they're able to defend that tower,
Mm-hmm.
then the people up top get all that extra CS, free CS, and in middle they get free CS, and you start falling behind in your lane a lot.
That's true. One way that a lot of people say to kind of counterbalance that crazy four-man, other than what you were saying as well, is to push for objectives. Like if you see four people bottom, you push your lane as hard as you can, and you try and like take a tower. If it's the opposite, like say they're ganking top lane, you know where they are. You can take that dragon. It's basically keeping the balance. Like if you know you're gonna lose a tower, you try and take an additional tower, like a tower for yourself. If you know that they're on a certain part of the map and you see an opportunity to advance yourself monetarily and you can take a dragon safely, definitely go for it. And that's something I'm learning in my own play as well. I used to watch other lanes get ganked and then like lose. And then I would just like keep quietly farming. And I was eventually like, you know what? I should totally try and balance this out and take something for myself. So it's not quite the advantage that they were planning on with that successful gank bottom lane. Anyway, just to remind you guys, if you are joining us, this is Riot vs. Community Game 1, Summoner's Rift. Reds are on the red team, Community's on the blue team, and we are just getting loaded in. Wow, I've
Yeah.
never seen that. What TF skin is that?
Well, I think it's after he's been
Oh.
remade, and I didn't catch what it was in the loading screen, but it's
Mm-hmm.
after when they remake the champion, they remake every
Right.
skin too. So all of Annie's skins now look really cool. Like they did a really good job remaking her as well.
Yeah.
And they actually buffed her too. A lot of people didn't notice that, but they buffed her at the same time that they remade her because they shortened the cooldown on her shield, which allows her to get an extra stack more often.
Ah, okay. Thank you for the tip, Poison Finger. It is actually PAX TF that we're looking at right now. I think. Unless he's lying. Anyway, I'm pretty sure that's what. So it looks like they're going to invade because, of course, they have Blitzcrank. Not only do they have a Blitzcrank on the right team, but it is Mixed DJ, and he is pretty well known for his Hook City Blitzcrank play. So we're going to see what they can do here. It looks like they're invading the blue. They want to go ahead and steal it if they can, or just disrupt it, grab a kill. They didn't actually pull the buff through the bush, which is what a lot of Blitzcrank players prefer to do. It's safer, and you do usually kill the blue soon enough to just kind of get away scot-free.
Yeah, this is really dangerous right now for Community because they had no vision of their entire team getting in that blue bush. But it would be awesome to see if Too Refined actually goes for their red buff. So they're going to do a counter invade right
Okay.
now and take Wraiths because they know Elise wanted to start with the blue buff. So this might
Okay.
actually work out in their favor as long as they don't meet up at the river. It could be very scary if they meet up at the river and someone gets hooked.
That's true. And if they really do give Tarek that that red buff, I'm just gonna lose it. That's what they were talking about initially. For some reason, Tizza was like, if Tarek gets that red buff, it's all over. So if they give it to him, that's gonna be hilarious and amazing. I'm checking right now, and it looks like he does not have it. So sad day for me. But Tala does get away scot-free, grabbing that red for herself. But her blue is gone to the Sad Mummy. Wow, he took a lot of damage there.
He was almost down
These
to
are
one bar.
hurting.
There was not much help for him to get that. And Elise coming down middle for a gank right now with red buff up. Lands a stun. Zyra there. Get big damage on a Toras, but not enough to take him out or force the flash. Got him down below one bar though, and that's gonna put the Crane Man at a pretty powerful position right now, especially without the triple cards coming out of Toras yet.
That's true. Very aggressive gank, of course. When you see the jungler go for red buff, you know they're going to gank early. Bottom lane, Tizza in some trouble. Forced to flash and blow cleanse, but there's the counter flash from Blended Pot. There is the exhaust, and First Blood going to Tarek. They're going to turn on Mixed DJ right now. Are they going to be able to do enough damage? No, Dazzle is down. For Splendid Play. Tizza, or Mixed DJ getting a little cheeky. Wanted to grab him into tower range, but First Blood going to Tarek. This does not bode well for the Riot team. He didn't get red, but he did get First Blood, so watch out for that outrageous gym guy.
Yeah, it was actually really scary. Another gank coming up top by Towelette. Lands a stun again, but did not get out there in time to do the damage. I don't think that she opened with the stun. She actually opened with the repel to close the gap. But if she had landed a stun on her way in, it might have turned into a kill.
Yeah, he did take a bit of damage there in top lane. Elise being very aggressive with her ganks, taking advantage of that red buff that she has, and I'm honestly tickled to see an Elise jungler. I know that every time a new champion comes out, everyone jungles them just to kind of see where they're at, and she mostly went top lane from what I remember, definitely, but her ganks are super strong. I definitely enjoy her in the jungle, and I want to see more of that. And we get that opportunity now. But I was sad that I couldn't play her as a mage in mid lane. She just didn't quite work out. I wanted to just stay a caster and like cast my spell. So there is a gank mid lane right now. There's the repel onto Taurus. There's the early ignite. Is it going to be enough? There is the spider tracking him down. And just like that, Zyra is going to pick up the second kill for the community. What a great gank.
Yeah, it was a very good gank. Actually, the Crane Man using the flash to close the gap and ensure that he got snared to make that gank possible. And Elise now actually going into counter jungle Amumu a little bit, taking the big Wraith and just walking out of there. Now, remember, the only thing that makes Elise a viable jungler is the fact that her spiders heal her for a percent of the damage they do, and they'll also tank the minions because they'll get in a little bit closer than she will a lot of times. So all you have to do is get into attack range, back up a step, and then your spiders will start eating all of the damage. And it looks like she's almost clairvoyant right here, trying to get out of a Mumu who's coming back to try to defend some of his jungle, but Too Refined gets slowed, still rampant coming out. Right, Aether wanted to go in, but it didn't look like Zed was coming after him for that kill. And then down bottom, Weasel Lord's actually in a really bad position. Taric coming up from behind, standing in a ward, and is going to be in a lot of trouble, taking big damage. Mixed DJ trying to CC Weasel Lord. The Dazzle coming out on Riot. Mixed DJ, who's dropping low, below the mana barrier. He has to flash, misses the flash hook, and now Weasel Lord and Splendid Pyre are actually going to come out on top of this one, forcing the Blitzcrank to recall. And how awesome is that? Do you see the new did they have this last week? I wasn't watching.
Which one?
When they recall, it actually shows them
yes, that was
spinning.
Yep, that was before this recent patch. So it was the patch before this one, and it's really awesome. It shows on the minimap. It also shows when TF is teleporting. It shows regular teleports. It's just, giving you more information about
big
the map.
Damage coming out middle. Toras going down to another gank. Towlette just did a max range repel coming out of that bush, dropped the stun in the snare combination. The Crane Man not even using Stranglethorn, not having to ult whatsoever and securing that kill easily.
Yeah, just, that's amazing. And Tala definitely doing some strong work with Elise, and that's what makes her gank scary, in my opinion, is she can just repel out of nowhere. And then you're like, giant spider in my face. I'm either going to have to flash or really get out of this, okay? It looks like Aether not having enough mana to take his own blue.
Yeah.
So he is forced to be there. That is tough news. It looks like Mixed DJ was going to come help, but everybody was going to come help, it looks like.
They had the ward at the blue buff, and they pinged it as soon as Amumu showed up there, and they had a counter ward in their small brush here, the gank brush. And as soon as they saw bottom moving up to that blue, they fell back right away.
I see, that's what happened. So nice job there, and Amumu going in for his blue once more, wanting to get that to, be able to function. There is a ping again from the community team. They know that Amumu is there. Zyra might be able... No, it doesn't look like she's going to go contest it, so Amumu with an early smite going to be able to just finish that off. He's taking a lot of damage. I'm not sure why, but that is indeed the case. But he does have blue now, so he can truck on through the jungle. And looks like his farm right now is sitting at 21 creeps versus Elise's 23. So they're pretty even there, but Elise has been a lot more active, a lot more lane presence, ganking a lot of lanes. Amumu's just been crying, which is pretty much what happens.
Yeah, Elise has been part of 2 out of 3 of Community's kills right now, and both of those kills at mid, and both of them going to their mid laner, Zyra. Now, Elise's late game is pretty good. I mean, you can go multiple different ways with her. You can go tanky with her, or you can go, almost assassination mode with her because of her ability to burst and close the gap really quick. But at the same time, feeding your mid lane, who is Zyra, Zyra's plants and her range is just awesome in team fights. As long as you can position and not get hooked, then you're going to be able to lay down a lot of damage in CC for your team.
It's true, because she really doesn't have an escape. Oh no, some counter jungling going on. Aether getting caught out in his own jungle. He does have double buff. Will the undertow finish him off right now? There's an auto attack. Didn't even need the undertow. Mumu going down to Olaf. Scary news for top lane. Definitely going to go up against an Olaf with double buff. Amumu getting pretty shut down there, was super low trying to jungle that red. And Olaf with great map awareness went ahead and countered him.
Another gank coming down mid. Torast having to flash over the wall. It looks like everything's down for Zyra and Towlette. Towlette actually landing a stun, coming back in spider form. Lots of damage coming out. Zyra not there to follow up. The Ignite coming down on Towlette, and they're going to trade kills 1 for 1. but they got the assist, so I think it's going to be worthwhile, especially because TF has been really far behind right now. He hasn't been able to use Destiny to gank any
bottom
lanes.
lane, we do have bullet time coming out of Misfortune right here. They do finish off that target. They're going to turn on Misfortune right now. Mixed DJ ulting there, silencing her, doing some damage. There's the tumble coming out of Tizza. Will they be able to finish her off? I'm not sure if grab is off a cooldown. No, he had 2 seconds left on that rocket grab. Misfortune will live to fight another day. Maybe Mixed DJ trying to bait out that Misfortune by being in the bush, or maybe he just wants to be. Yeah, it looks like he is going to go back. Miss Vayne is going to go back as well, but that was pretty good. They fought for a long time. There was a lot of sustain coming out of Taric. Some good stuns landed, but I believe that Taric was grabbed into turret range and did just enough damage for Vayne to finish him off there. So that is her first kill.
Turrets are definitely OP when it comes to damage, and anything pre-level 10, and they're going to do more damage than any other champion on the map at the time.
Nerf turrets, please.
A big thing that actually changed with turrets is they changed turrets' targeting priority. So now I was reading in the patch notes where now it's going to target your player-based minions, like for example Lisa's spiders or Tibbers or something like that. And then it's going to go for cannon minions, which are the tankiest of all the minions. And then it will go for the melee minions, no matter who's closest. It used to be who's closest. And depending on how the wave came in, it would make a big difference because your caster minions would get switched to and then die. But now with the cannon minions, big damage coming out from Crane Man up in the mid lane. Toras very low. The Ignite's still ticking. He pops a pot and saves his life. But the Crane Man actually missing the pop-up on his ultimate. A lot more aggression coming down bottom lane. Tizza in a lot of trouble. Gets hit by the stun, but the grip on Towlette. The ultimate coming out from Vayne. Not able to finish Towlette, and they're going to dive on this one. MF getting the kill. Splendid Pie flashing out of there. And Mixed DJ hanging out at his turret, not able to feed his little Vayne.
Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah, it looks like Tizza's 1 and 2 right now, so lots of good stuff going on for the community in bottom lane. Again, Elise was down there for a gank. Lots of crowd control from everyone, and ultimately Vayne did kind of get caught up in that. But it was a close thing. I mean, Elise and Taric were super low. Taric was forced to flash out of the way to not die to that tower damage, and community is going to take the first dragon of the game, increasing their gold lead to 15.7 to 14. I almost said 14,000, which would have been...
That would have been good.
14K.
14,000, that's perfect.
Exactly, that's actually... Math is hard, okay? But yeah, they are ahead.
He TP'd down to that ward for that one, and still Rampant was able to put a lot of damage on him because he TP'd right in lane. I was watching him because of that cool new feature we have. And so he actually showed up a little bit below half. But
I see.
The TP is definitely worth it. I mean, use your TP... Get the dragon. He did have double buff in lane, so I think he should be ahead in CS, but actually, still Rampant is doing excellent on Zed. Zed being probably one of the best farmers of the new wave of assassination ADs that they have. He's just unbelievable at clearing lane, unbelievable at farming from range, and going into the jungle and cleaning that up too. And it looks like he actually still Rampant flashes right there as Towlette gets aggressive when Olaf comes back to lane. And it looks like the Crane Man going for a steal on this blue buff. He gets it. And Riot Aether almost going to go down. He barely lives, gets out of there with his life. They are just harassing Amumu in his own jungle over and over again. Another gank coming in on Toras. The stun card coming down to Crane Man. But a good root. The stun doesn't land, but plenty of damage. And another Stranglethorn, not even needed. Although she used it that time.
Insurance.
Just insurance. Just in case.
Absolutely, it's just insurance. Oh my gosh, but as I was saying, Amumu is a risky jungler. Like, if you choose him and you don't get the resources you need, like, he can get behind pretty easily. There's the bullet time coming out of Misfortune in bottom lane, just clearing things up and harassing Riot a little bit. There's the Dazzler coming out of Splendid Pyre. Are they going to dive this? There's the Shatter going down, the exhaust being blown. There's the Cleanse turning it around. There's Final Hour being popped by, I almost said Misfortune. Being popped by Tizza on Vayne, and she wasn't able to do anything with it, but she is life stealing her health back, popping a couple pots. I thought that was a little over-aggressive of the community there. We saw a lot of stuff being popped exhaust onto Vayne, but they were right up against the tower, which is not where you want to be when you're fighting a Blitzcrank. And I'm pretty sure that's how we had some deaths from the community in bottom lane before, was getting a little over-adventurous and getting hugged by a robot under a tower, which is not what you want.
Yeah, they didn't see that the second member of the bottom lane was coming down there for Riot, and they went really aggressive onto Vayne because they thought she was all alone, but Mixed DJ showed up just in time to defend her, and they actually, it seemed like the Riot team, the 2v2 down bottom, they pretty much blew everything to defend themselves under the turret as well. Both ultimates were popped, the exhausts went out, and they were actually worried that the cleanse, exactly. They were actually worried that Tizza was going to go down right there. Under the tower. So Splendid Pie and Weaselord doing a great job down bottom here. And it looks like all three pushing for this bottom tower.
Oh, we have a duel going on in mid lane here in the river. Looks like Toras and the Crane Man were duking it out, but Toras didn't want any of that.
Oh,
so
and up
he
in
did
top lane,
leave.
still Rampant in trouble. He's going to pop his ultimate. Damage coming down Towlette, but Towlette's able to flash out, and Rampant going to go down to 2 Refine's red buff, I believe. And going to go for a 1-for-0 trade up top there, but TF coming up. Destiny going to come out, and it looks like, oh, misses the stun on Toras. Missed, and he's going to get the kill, but Olaf here to try to pick up the last one. Ignite coming down into Refined. Toras with the stun and the triple
gold
card. Very good play by TF there. He pulled the gold card instantly. It was the first card up, and he pulled it right away for that kill.
Sorry, I was just so excited.
Oh, once again down bottom lane, Splendid Pie and Tizza going at it. Weaselord looking really healthy. They're going to get the kill onto Tizza, hiding in the bush, a flash, and they're going to trade 1-for-1 support for AD carry. And Weaselord going to try to chase down Blitzcrank, but going to fall back because they didn't have vision of where Mumu was. Very good awareness by Weaselord, but that duel down bottom is definitely not going in the way of Riot right now.
No, it was great that I wanted to mention earlier. Tiz is actually keeping up in farm with Misfortune, or at least he was last I checked a couple minutes ago. But after dying 3 times, he's definitely holding his own farm-wise. But he did manage to pick up a kill, I believe, onto Tarek before going down in bottom lane during that recent duel, which was pretty awesome because it looked like he was just going to get killed by both of those guys, not get anything for it. So 2-3,
Ooh,
not
a good
great,
stun.
but
Curse of the Mad Mummy coming out in the mid lane. Sorry to interrupt you. Toras
No,
not
it's
getting
fine.
the gold card out. Crane Man flashing before they got the third CC onto the Crane Man and able to survive there. Actually, Towlette showing up that if they had dove, she probably would have picked up 1, if not 2 of those kills. Looking really strong right now. She's 1, 2, and 5, but has just been doing a great job with all of her ganks and stuns.
Yeah, and looking at her items, they're kind of interesting. She picked up that Haunting Guys for the extra AP, the health, and then the Magic Pen, which is pretty awesome. I'm not terribly familiar with how you should build Jungle Elise, so I'm taking notes right now. But, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, so oh my gosh, a Dazzle coming out in mid lane, Splendid Pie going in, but Zyra was really far away. There's the gold card being picked up. There's the exhaust on him. Zyra trying to get the Strangle going down. Didn't even need it. Picked up a kill onto TF. TF having a pretty rough lane as well, getting picked on by the jungler, but with those 2 kills he picked up in top lane, he's 3 and 5. So not too shabby, but definitely not doing great.
Yeah, it's definitely a great showing top lane, and I think that if he does get farmed, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. If top lane showed us anything about late game, he is going to be ready to play when he comes into this. Tizza actually being in a little bit of trouble here. Going to go deep into the community jungle. Towlette going to repel over the wall, landing the damage onto Tizza. The final hour coming out, but stunned while invisible. Tizza is definitely going to go down here, and that is a 4v1. Pushed a little too far to get that farm you were talking about earlier. She's trying to catch back up to MF, unable to. The first tower of the game actually going to Riot up top lane. Still Rampant been pushing every time that teleport comes down, but another dragon coming out for community, and they're actually going to push the gold lead just above 2k, about 2.3k right now, as they contest another blue buff.
And to add insult to injury, they're also going to steal this blue. Bullet time coming out from Misfortune, not even needed, but it looked pretty fancy, so nice job there. It's on a relatively low cooldown, so no big deal. They're going to give blue to Tarek, I guess. Or no, okay, at least it's going to take it. I was like, you know, Tarek.
Gank coming down top lane, a good root coming out from the Crane Man, and the big damage coming out. Even with the jump from Zed and Flash, it wasn't enough to get out of there. And
This
Riot,
is such a high action game.
Riot lacking in the vision right now. Riot does not have 1 ward on the entire map right now. And a lot of these kills have been coming just because they're like, oh, look, Vayne's down at bottom lane near the tower. Let's send 3 or 4 people. They won't even know we're coming. And then picking up a free dragon, a free blue buff, and another kill on TF because of that. And it's really, really hurting Riot right now because they just do not have the wards they need. They do have the
It's
Ruby
true.
Sightstone on Blitzcrank. He just doesn't have any wards down.
I'm wondering if, like, every time he goes into bottom lane, like, he's just getting contested, so he can't really drop any wards. Looks like we're seeing some wards come out, as if he could hear us. Unfortunately, Dragon is pink warded by the community team, so they'll be able to go clean that up. And another pink ward in the tri ward as well, so both of those wards dropped by MixDJ gonna be picked up by the community for a pretty penny, and then they will not have vision there anymore. Most people are vouching to buy those pink wards instead of getting the Oracle, now that there is a time limit on the Oracle. I believe it is 4 minutes now, or 4 or 5, that you can have an Oracle before it wears off on its own. Lots of people pretty unhappy about that change.
Yep, a stun coming down on Splendid Pie. Tizza going to be in a lot of trouble if they put a lot of damage in here. Popping Final Hour, backing up a great hook onto Weasel Lord, but countered by the Condemn from Tizza, and now they're going to be in trouble. The cleanse is down, and Splendid Pie is coming in, but the TF ult coming down. Bullet Time coming out, not finishing off Tizza, and they're actually going to get a 2-for-0 trade there, thanks to the TF ultimate. And they actually, it was funny to watch MF ping pong back and forth between them. And as I'm talking up top lane, Zed on Still Rampant is going to be picking up the kill onto Elise. The Crane Man between a Mummy and a Ninja, and really wants to fight this one. She does have the damage. She does not. She does have her ultimate, puts it down. 2 Refined coming up. Still Rampant almost down. Aether going to go down to the next Undertow, and Crane Man picking up that last kill. And, actually going to die to the axe to the back of the head. That is a sad, sad morning.
There's so much going on, because I still want to talk about that amazing engagement with Riot as a bottom lane, where he managed to fight off Tarek by just kind of juking in and out of the bush and tumbling and getting that. He does have a Bloodthirster, so that did allow him to lifesteal his way back to victory there. And it was a great engagement. And then top lane, like, there's so much going on right now, so pretty exciting stuff. And then that engagement in top lane was really awesome. I just all over the map because there's so many fights going on in different lanes, but it looks like we might actually see some action here. Tarek, a beautiful rock grab over the wall there from MixDJ. Splendid Pie certainly going to go down. Tried that last-ditch heal for himself, but it just was not enough when you have 3-on-1, even if you're Tarek. And that's saying something.
Even if he didn't land that great grip, I think he still would have been in a lot of trouble because the only person he had for help was MF down bottom, and it was still going to be a 3v2 at best. Now, in bottom lane, when you're fighting as a support, you want to get the AD carry, to pop cleanse. Oh, the ult coming out from Olaf, flash from Towelette trying to come into the bush onto Tizza. Tizza trying to lifesteal. Final Hour coming out. And they looks like they're going to back off and disengage a little bit here. Stun card coming down onto Weasel Lord, taking some damage. But I think they're going to posture around until they get another good engagement. Vayne looking to come up from behind, but with only 4 bars of health, I think she's going to sit right there and back as they push this mid lane.
That's true. And that was amazing. It looked like Tizza was done for, but Talent decided to disengage and come back mid lane. I guess they thought that it wasn't worth chasing and that they might have been out of position when Riot came back up there. So, and they're dancing in mid lane, as you do when you're the community and it's 15-9. Little cheekiness coming out of the community. We like to see that, but we pretty much have a little mini siege going on at that mid turret. Community wants that turret. Misfortune getting a few pot shots in. And
good wave clear coming out of Riot, though, with Torast. I mean, as long as he's pulling blue cards and hitting minions, he's going to be able to clear those waves pretty quickly and at a safe distance as well. It's pretty hard to get caught out of position when you have one of the longest range spammable spells in the game.
It's pretty amazing. And it's even worse on ARAM when you're like, are you serious?
Yeah.
Poke is insane. But yeah, now the tables have kind of turned. Nice grasping. Roots landed on Blitzcrank. Blitz trying to get a grab on somebody, anybody. Lots of tasty squishies there to grab, but they know they're going to stay just out of his range. They are parked there in that bush. It is warded though. Community knows they're there. They do not want to engage. Dragon is not up currently, but everybody is just kind of dancing around mid lane. Looks like Vayne might be going to farm bottom lane. There's a lot of farm down there for her. And mid lane, there's still a party going on. They're going to engage on Zed right now. Go for it.
He got caught by the root from the Crane Man, and they came through that bush, even though it was warded, and now a TP middle. and 5 people looking like they really want to push this with a 4v5. Vayne is bottom, so it would be a 3v5, just going to tank the tower. Aether coming in with a great Curse of the Sad Mummy, but taking tons of damage as Refined continues to tank the turret. Toras having to back off with very low health, and this is going to be an easy tower and a kill, even though he engaged on that one. Dragon coming up, the ping's coming down, they're going to take this probably no contest.
Yeah, Mixed DJ just barely missing that rocket grab onto Misfortune. Look at that damage coming out of Towlette onto that tower. When she goes into spider form and uses that, I believe it's Scattering Frenzy, that's the attack speed buff, towers just fall down. Like, they just cannot stand up to that attack speed. Too strong. 17-9 at the 25-minute mark, and the third dragon going to community. 37k, almost 38k to 33. Riot really needs to make something happen right now. What do they have to do to get back into this?
They really need to get Tizza into a fight, and I mean, if Tizza was back there to defend that turret, I feel like that engagement would have actually been worthwhile. It wouldn't matter who...
Are you talking about the Curse of the Sad Mummy engagement?
Yes. When he came in with the Curse of the Sad Mummy and stunned all of their team, if Blitz had grabbed any one of them stunned, they could have easily turned that into a kill, and then they would have had the 4v4 and the advantage because they would have taken all that extra tower damage for no reason.
No, that's totally making sense.
But Tizza being down bottom for the extra farm to try to snowball even more late game definitely made it really easy for them to go in after getting the catch onto Zed. It was a 5v3 at their turret, and they were just not worried about him because he's not tanky at all. He's been shut down this whole game.
Oh, Tizza might be in some trouble. Looks like he's getting chased down, but Zed is there to help him, using that tumble to juke that undertow. And Community is going to back off. It's pretty even turret-wise, 3-3 right now. As we were talking, Riot went ahead and took that mid-turret for themselves. A little bit of extra gold, trying to catch up there. But man, they have not had a dragon to themselves all game, and that starts to hurt if you're behind in farm and all that good stuff. It's a good supplement to your piggy bank to make sure that you either contest or take those dragons. Looks like everybody just kind of went home, picked up some stuff, picking up the jungle buffs. Misfortune just kind of hanging out. There's the engagement. Gold card going down on Weasel Lord. Vayne coming in, popping final hour, tumbling in, getting grasping rooted by Zyra there. Oh my goodness, a nice grab onto Splendid Pie. He goes up like a rocket. Bullet time coming in, getting interrupted by that Curse of the Sad Mummy. Weasel Lord forced to back off here. Toras is super low right now, catching a lot of stuff. There is Elise going to engage, but I believe she got condemned back into lane and could not finish off Toras. A nice save there by Tizza.
Ooh, still ramping, getting a little cheeky, trying to go up behind, but now that there's a Rylays on Zyra, along with the Rod of Ages and Haunting Guys, very tanky build for Zyra. Oh, Towlette trying to come in here, the ultimate coming down, the Ignite probably going to be enough to take out Towlette here,
Nice.
And I think he's still going to escape. We got Olaf coming from the top, the Shadow Juke, but he is slowed, and the Flash should be able to clear him from the community team who was trying to get in on that. And a ping coming down onto Tizza. Ghost coming out from 2 are fined. He misses the first axe due to a tumble. Tizza going with a condemning him back, and they're just going to fall back on that engagement. They didn't want to go in as Riot. They're all their healthy Rioters are actually going to come back with Torast and Blitzcrank there.
That's true, and nice job from Zed to show how mobile that champion really is. He got out of that nice and safe, and Tizza as well, using that tumble to juke the undertow, and then the condemned to say, Olaf, you need to either pop your ulti and kill me, or back up, which is exactly what happened. Riot trying to make a comeback, 17-11. Not too bad. Lots more wards going out for the Riot side so they don't get caught out as often. Looking here for the red buff, trying to counter jungle a little bit. Zyra is all alone in bottom lane. They might be wanting to engage on here. TF is going to go in. Is he going to get a gold card on it? Yes, but Tarek is here. Dazzle going down onto Taurus. There is Shatter, and oh my goodness, that damage coming out of Zyra right now is so intense. Mixed DJ in some trouble. Elise repelling down, and Zyra finishing off Blitzcrank through his mana shield. Intense stuff, lots of damage coming out of that 9-0 Zyra. Holy cannoli, I had no idea she was quite that far ahead, and as you mentioned, Rod of Ages complete, Relies complete, she's building that Hunting Guys, and probably Leandri's Torment for that magic pin. We're having a flash and a tumble coming out of Tizza. There's the Condemn, he's exhausted, final hour being popped, not enough to keep him alive. Elise picking up that kill for herself as well, and Misfortune, you know, also fair to mention, 4-1. Oh no, we had another kill in top lane. Looks like there was a duel between Zed and Zed1, finishing off Olaf there.
Yeah, he did finish off Olaf. I don't think I saw Olaf using his TP, and sometimes I've seen that happen before, where top lane will go to TP, and the other top laner's like, well, I'm gonna lay all my damage on you right now because I want Ignite, and then get the kill on him before they get the TP off. I don't think he was trying to TP bottom. They did have a good 4-man push. I think it was just a good 1v1, and Olaf came out on the wrong end of it. And as I was saying earlier, with the support mechanics, is you want the AD carry to use their cleanse on a stun. You always want to have them pop their cleanse on that stun or a root to get him out of that, and then you follow up with the exhaust. And the exhaust is so much more devastating to land for full duration than any type of stun in this game.
Yeah, that's totally true. I remember when it used to be heal that AD carries took bottom lane, which was pretty awesome. But you do see the support taking exhaust because it is a really potent spell. And more words coming out from Blitzcrank here. He wants full vision on this Baron area, not necessarily because they're going to try and grab it soon, but because they want to make sure that the community isn't trying to pull something sneaky. I think that Tarek had an Oracle earlier. Oh no, they do see him. Zed may be going in here. Taurus coming around. Gold card going down on the Splendid Pie right now. They are going to engage on this. There's the Blitzcrank rocket grab on him, and he is gone, getting caught way, way out of position. The rest of the community team wasn't even there.
Yeah, they weren't ready for that. Olaf was there, and he did throw an undertow in to hopefully slow them down and deter them, but it wasn't enough. Mixed DJ getting stunned in the bush here. There are 2 wards. They know that that bush is warded, and it looks like Riot wants to push this 4v5 for some kills. I don't think that Baron would be a good idea. I'm pretty sure that Zyra's AoE and plants would devastate them in the Baron pit. Tizza taking big damage from the Crane Man, but getting rooted, getting gripped, and also Aether coming into tower range with the bandage toss at the same time. So stunned at the end of that grip, but MF coming in, putting lots of damage down. Toras going to be in big trouble here. Towlette deciding to go for Blitzcrank, who goes over the wall, flashes, too refined, trying to clean up the kills, and just one more little bit of damage for this TF, who's going to ult himself over the wall and just barely gets... No, the Baron is going to snipe him over the wall, giving that kill to Olaf. And that was the longest Baron shot ever right there. He actually casted it, he TP'd, and then got hit by it. And it looks like they're going to try to pick up the Baron right here. They do have the pink ward out. Aether still, does he has his smite up. He does have Curse of the Sad Mummy, so he could CC them. Still rampant there and ready as well. But they don't have a ward. They're completely blind. They don't know when this is going to go down. Still rampant, dropping another ward there. Trying to get some poke in. Aether trying to just time himself. Looks like he's going to go for a bandage toss. He's got to do it now. He gets in there, and he is dead. Just half a second too late to try to snipe that Baron. And now we have all 5 members got the Baron buff because Zyra did come back up after the engagement middle. And a GA being completed on MF. And I think now is when you're just going to push the advantage, get an inhibitor with your Baron buff, and push towards the end of the game and win it.
That was like 2 back-to-back plays that I wish I had LOL replay for. Because honestly, I mean, you know what I mean, like to record it so I could show people. You had, was it Blitzcrank grab Misfortune at the same time Amumu bandaged her? Is that what like flipped them around like that?
It was Zyra, and Amumu went in. Zyra had rooted Tizza within tower range and decided to engage on him, but they were all there in the shadows. Blitzcrank landed the hook as Amumu landed the bandage toss, so it pulled him into tower range and pulled Zyra out at the very same time. And so Zyra got pulled out stunned and then knocked up, and she died very quickly, but the follow-up from the community team was very good because Tizza had already gotten a little too low to be able to fight that because he was pushing the turret solo.
Okay, and then to follow up what happened at Baron was that Zed... TF aggroed Baron, then used Destiny, and then Baron shot him, and then he died? Is that what happened there?
Yeah, I'm not even sure it was TF that aggroed him. I think someone else aggroed Baron. Throwing in, it might have been an undertow or something like that, but I'm sure that TF would not have aggroed Baron at 0 HP like he was. But he teleported, and the Baron's ranged attack followed him through the teleport and killed him on the other side.
Okay, I totally That was pretty amazing. Anyway, back to the game now that I've reveled in those amazing plays. It looks like yet another dragon going out for the community team. Zed almost getting caught out, having to use his shadow and his flash to get out. If he had gotten caught in that Make It Rain with the red buff on Misfortune, would have been sad, sad news for Zed there. Speaking of Misfortune, rocking the GA right now. She's got pretty much the ideal build that you want. She's got the devastating Black Cleaver,
Too
Bloodthirster,
refined and trouble
all
down
full buff.
bottom, popping his ultimate, trying to get out with Ragnarok. The cleanse coming out to the last axe. Tiza chasing down, but you cannot
Wow.
run away from Vayne. That true damage from Silver Bolts doing work against that Olaf, who's stacking mostly health right now. He does have a Warmogs. He's now got the Frozen Heart. Let's try to slow that attack speed some. But Warmogs pretty much just increases Vayne's damage against you. The Silver Bolt's doing percent health damage, so if you're stacking health, you're making that third Silver Bolt hit very hard.
If you're stacking health, you're fighting Vayne and crackling. Understand? But that's kind of what top lane Olaf does, so I can understand. We do have Telek counter jungling, stealing the blue. We have a turret going down just via minions in top lane. Looks like that top lane was pushed pretty hard, so there's another tower for the Riders. 5-4 towers right now. Pretty even game that way. Kill-wise, though, community still dominating at this 35.5-minute mark. 24-15. Lots of good plays coming out this game. And looks like community still has Baron, but they're not really doing much with it. Looked like they went for bottom lane, but now they're in mid.
Yeah, they had pushed up the bottom lane after Olaf died because they were trying to come around behind Tiza, but Tiza went into the community jungle and backed, and then they decided not to continue to push. I think they had the advantage even without Olaf, as long as Tiza's out of the picture. Trading a Vayne for an Olaf would be a great trade for them right now. They have another GA coming out on Elise. They have big damage coming out from MF. I mean, they have all the items they need to really close in this game and win it, but they just haven't been able to group and push. I think they're afraid of a good blitzcrank at the turret.
I was gonna say, team fighting is all good and everything, but even in a team fight situation, if the blitzcrank is able to grab your carry, they're gonna blow up really quickly. But in order to counter that, as we mentioned, Misfortune does have that GA, so as long as she's not too reckless and pops that in kind of a silly situation, she will have that as insurance versus those crazy rocket grabs coming out of Mixed DJ right now. So it looks like they are going to continue to push up mid lane. I think they're just keeping their lanes pushed, but they can't quite decide when they want to team fight and what lane they're going to do it in. Blitzcrank laughing because there is a ward in that bush. Mixed DJ being a little bit of a troll. Splendid Pie going, oh, you can see me. I'm
Community
just
playing it super smart right now, actually. Olaf's TP is up. They're going to split push this bottom lane. They'd actually be better off probably going all top lane. There he finds one of the wards. The other one actually expiring in the bush that he was in. He doesn't even want to kill the ward because he can't see Blitzcrank, so he's worried to go over and auto-attack it. But Olaf pushing bottom, and we already seen that Vayne can 1v1 Olaf. But if they can pull Vayne over and then force a team fight middle, they can create that 5v4. Vayne not going to chase him this time because all of community is pushing middle this time. But I'd really like to see them go top. I think if community goes top right now, they'd make that gap so large that by the time Vayne got bottom and Olaf TP top, it'd be free towers. It'd be a free tower,
That's
at least
true.
one, and possibly a free inhibitor.
Yeah, lots of wards going down, so Blitzcrank can grab someone if he is able. He does have that Oracle, so he's able to clean up those wards that are going to drop. Ping's going down onto red buff. They're going to go ahead and help themselves and probably feed that to Misfortune there, so she's even more scary. There is a ward in that bush. They know exactly where the Crane Man is. Blitzcrank maybe wanting to go in for a grab. Still Rampant coming around. Looking like they want to cut her off here. They're going to be able to. There is the flash coming out of the Crane Man. Nice grasping roots coming out of Taurus. Taurus in some trouble right now. So squishy. There is, oh my goodness gracious, reckless swing just devastating him. Still Rampant having to get out. And that was just too much kind of idling around in the jungle. Riot Aether popping that Chris the Sad Mummy, CCing the entire team, but there was a wall between them. They weren't really able to follow up. Splendid Pie going down to Vayne, who's doing a lot of damage right now. So overall, that was a 1-for-1 trade, but Riot Taurus for Splendid Pie, not necessarily the trade that Riot wanted there.
No, I don't think it's the trade they wanted, but they did get they did get the TF kill, and if they were to trade TF for a Taric, they'd be in good shape. They're going to be able to push down this tower right here. The Blitzcrank hook, not that scary without a tower there. Final hour coming out from Tizza. Big damage coming out from him. 2 are fine. Definitely going to go down here. But Aether also going to die along with the Vayne. Towlette trying to finalize this. Exhaust and Ignite coming out of Towlette. Going to pop that GA, but still Rampant going to die to the remaining Zyra and MF. That's going to be a free inhibitor, and they could probably push and get one of the turrets right now. They do have the TF up, but not going to be scary enough to kill anybody right now. They're going to dive right onto him. Towlette jumping in there. Ignite coming out. The stun coming down. TF actually getting a kill before falling himself, but that'll definitely cost him this first tower and possibly the second tower as well. I don't know how cheeky they're... No, it looks like they're going to fall back. They did have 20 seconds on Amumu, who's going to be the first one up. And Amumu not so scary at the moment. He does have HP. He does have armor, but he's not going to cry and Sunfire you to death. Not going to be enough to take any one of the carries out right now.
I think they maybe could have done some significant damage to that tower, but it looks like the Crane Man, playing a little smarter, is going to go ahead and get that inhibitor turret for the mid lane. And that's going to buy them a little more map control, all that good stuff. So all they have to do, stroll up mid lane, shove that inhibitor down, have a good team fight, and then end the game. So I can totally understand why they all backed off. They want to go home, they want to heal, they want to make their purchases for this final blowout that's going to go. But remember, Baron is back up. As you can see, everybody is already doing the Baron dance, where they're dropping wards, there's pinks everywhere. They want to make sure they know if the team is going for it and where they are. This is a 40-minute game, Skill. Like, this is getting serious, and this is where Vayne really
is coming out.
Shine.
2 are fine jumping on Mixed DJ. The stun coming down Tizza, cleansing it, but it's a 2v3. Aether popping out. Curse of Sad Mummy. Splendid trying to get out of there, but the bandage toss is going to get him, and that 2v3 was not in their favor whatsoever. They did get multiple ultimates out. They only lost the Taric, so I don't think that it's going to be smart for Riot to go for a Baron right here. They don't have a pink ward to clear their vision. They do have a good amount of wards there, but without a pink to clear that Baron vision, I do not think that they should even chance a Baron fight right now. There's too much AoE that comes out from the Undertows, too much from Bullet Time, and Zyra's Grasping Roots even, being a line AoE, just locking them down, and would be just far too much damage. We do have super minions pushing the top as well. The 2 of them pushing down that new... I feel like there's more caster minions than there normally would be after them changing the turrets. Although they're not running into any turrets right now, but it seems like they're just stacking up a lot faster. TP coming out. At home, Olaf going to backdoor. He's definitely going to get this tower. It looks like all of Riot is backing right now, except for Torast, who has a yellow card up. And he is going to get the turret. He's pushing in on the Crystal Forge. He's not going to get him, though. He ulted. He's going to try to get some more damage, but there's no way he's going to get this. But now they have an open base, which is going to make it way too dangerous for them to push out for Baron unless they get an ace or maybe a good 2-for-0 trade to even get anywhere near that Baron.
These plays, had no idea. That was very clever of him. He knew he was tanky enough to tank that last Nexus tower, so he was able to do so. As we mentioned, Naked Nexus. That sounds like a weird team name. The Naked Nexus. Anyway, there are no towers there to defend it, so that will make it all the easier for them to push in for the win. But Riot trying to catch out Towlette right now. There is the Destiny being popped. Is he gonna teleport? Yes, he does teleport. There's the grab onto Weasel Lord, popping him over that edge. He does have GA. Is he gonna go down? Trying to get that bullet time off before he dies, but he is surrounded by sharks. He is gonna res from that Guardian Angel into a giant pile of riders. Are they gonna go for Baron? Yes, it looks like they're initiating right now, but the community team is aware of this. They do have that pink ward there. They are going to go in. Lots of damage going on to Still Rampant from Elise right now. A missed rocket grab from the Blitzcrank. Are they still going to continue? It looks like... I'm not quite sure.
I
Neither
don't think
are
they should. It looks like they're baiting it out, trying to show that they're going to back a little bit. Australia's coming out on a Towlette. Ooh, a flash coming from Tizza. Towlette was going to close that gap and put damage right there. But I don't... Like I said, with the Zyra ultimate up and even without Misfortune, I think it's just too much for them to get into that Baron pit. Now, at about 3/4, Tizza and Still Rampant there, taking a little bit of damage over the wall from the Crane Man. A lot of damage now, down to half health. They're going to be able to take this Baron unless Blitz can get there and make something happen, but I don't think it's going to work. They're going to get
They
four.
were just bullied off of that 4v5 essentially. Like, that was amazing. The damage coming out of Zyra with those plants just slung over the edge there with the grasping roots was enough to just devastate Still Rampant and Tiz and scare them away from that Baron. That Baron was taken from them, and I'm not talking about like stolen. They were chased away from that Baron, and that just goes to show that you can turn those fights to your advantage. So 30 to 21, almost 45 minutes in right now. Community wants to win this, and looks like they're gonna close that right now.
Tizza with the QSS as his only defensive item right now. And running a QSS and Cleanse is great on Vayne, but it's not enough MR. He does have the Chain Vest going for GA, but it's not enough that if he gets caught and takes damage, he's in a lot of trouble. 2 Refine getting hit with the Bandage Toss, popping Ragnarok, getting back, a good stun onto TF, another one onto Tizza, the grip onto Weasel Lord. He's going to be in a lot of trouble. Curse the Sad Mummy coming down, Zed ulting him, lots of damage coming out. Mixed DJ trying to get out with his life, Still Rampant, still doing damage, and it's a 3-for-0, a double kill onto Zed right now, and a good fight it looks like. Taulette's going to die after the GA, and that was a Baron fight that Community did not commit for. The Crane Man trying to run away from Aether, but Aether too tanky in a 5-for-0 exchange with Baron buff. Unbelievable that Riot could turn that around in a perfect engagement.
Oh, amazing. Like, I saw Zyra was still alive, and I was like, what? I forgot about her passive. I was like, is she hacking? But yeah, she was alive in her plan form to shoot off that final last-ditch effort of taking someone down with her when she dies. But yeah, that was remarkable. I mean, we did have the Baron on everybody in the community, as you mentioned, and then right away, there was that beautiful engagement. Community tried to go in, as you mentioned, there was a stun going down onto Tizza, another stun onto TF, but it was not enough. Aether just dove in, cursed the Sad Mummy, Zed ulti coming out, all of that damage. I'm pretty sure Mixed DJ also threw in an ult there. There's a lot of AoE stuff going on, and then that allowed them to clean it up, turn it around. Now they're taking an inhibitor for themselves and have closed the kill gap to, they're only 4 behind now.
Yeah, they're only 4 behind in kills. They're still pretty far behind on gold with all those dragons and barons going to the community team. They had the baron buff there, but it looked like they were so timid to engage, and that timidness, they popped both stuns. They got him on 2 different carries, and they didn't commit to either one of those stuns. And once the stuns wore
Riot's
off,
getting a dragon.
Riot's got their first dragon. And the stuns went off. They didn't commit onto them, and then the Blitzcrank hook was direct onto MF, and that they didn't need any more to just go in, ultimates blaring, and Still Rampant doing a lot of damage right now. He does have a Warmog, so he's not afraid to get in there with the amount of AD he has right now.
That's true. And if you look at the farm on the Riot team, 300 on Vayne, 300 on TF, 300 on Zed almost, and then only 200 on Olaf, 300, they're ahead in farm on the Riot side, but those map objectives and the kills are really what's keeping them up behind on gold. So farming is super important. 305 farm on TF. Holy cannoli. Like, that's amazing. He's a great farmer, though.
Yeah, TF is a great farmer. Zed's also a great farmer. It looked like mid-game he switched from trying to get farm to pushing for kills. It didn't always work out for him. He did fall back some in farm, but he is one of the best farmers, I think, almost in the game right now. I've seen him go mid lane and easily hit the 200 CS mark by 20 minutes without an issue. Just stealing raids from both sides, 'cause it's so safe, because you can always just port right over a wall. You always have that, and if you're running flash as well, your flash is up. How is somebody going to catch you if you can use Living Shadow? You can get a flash distance, slow them because they run over your old shadow where you were, and then also have another flash. Like, it's just too much to try to catch.
It's like catching LeBlanc. You really shouldn't be able to do it. Double distortion OP. But yeah, it looks like community just farming up, pushing up the mid lane, counter jungling, getting the buffs on all the right people. We have 2 oracles on the community team right now. One on Elise, and I believe that Zyra has one as well, and blue buff. So they do not want that ward coverage. They do not want to be snuck up on and they want to deprive the enemy team of the vision, especially with Blitzcrank lurking in his favorite corner. There goes the ward down for Blitz. He wants to hook someone through that wall and make them dead meat.
Tizza finally having the GA and the QSS, now going to be a little bit tankier and also still doing a lot of damage with the Phantom Dancer, Bloodthirster, and the Last Whisper. Bottom actually going down to those purple caster minions, and Cannon minion just I mean, they almost, one attack from all of them kills one of the, what are they, the melee minions. I don't know what color we'd call them.
Right, I think they tweaked the minions. I'm just not sure how.
Yeah, it just seems like the lanes snowball a lot harder when they get to a turret. Because of the priority, it doesn't seem like the caster minions ever die, and they're the ones doing all the damage. So I think if you leave a lane alone now, that lane's going to be able to push harder and take the free turrets like you just saw.
Absolutely. So everyone is just kind of at that place where they're farming and waiting for maybe Baron or Dragon to come up. They need those objectives to either contest or, fight over all that
it's going to come down to this last fight. Now that there's an inhibitor down mid, and there's 3 open inhibitors for the Riot team, if anybody gets a decent advantage, it'll be game over. 1 kill or even a kill and 1 person low is going to just be an all-out assault onto those inhibitors and end the game. But now it looks like Community's a little bit more tentative. They're like, man, we lost a fight with Baron. How are we going to take them at full health without the Baron?
That's true. And I feel like we're casting an old CLGU game. Like, it's very passive. Everybody just kind of wants to farm in the late game and then have those big epic team fights, which I'm okay with that, but casting the waiting time gets pretty exciting. Let me tell you what, it looks like Riot is going to go down here. Lots of wards coming out of Blitzcrank. He is making up for his earlier lack of wards, and they have plenty of vision in the enemy jungle. There's another ward being dropped by the community. They want to know where that Blitzcrank is at all times, because at this point in the game, 1 grab can, turn an entire fight around, providing he grabs the right person. So there's Baron. Riot is rushing off to it as quickly as they can. I don't know if they're going to bait it out or if they're just going to try and finish it before they think the community
I think they
knows.
want to just finish it. I think they're going to come in here. They're going to try to finish it as soon as possible. They have a lot of damage. They have the big silver bolts coming out. And Baron already getting nuked down, 0 health.
Wow.
Now they have Baron buff, and they're going to try to engage this fight. Aether coming in with a great stun. Bullet time coming across their whole team, but the whole team also getting knocked up. Tizza, GA getting popped. Right, Aether going down, Mixed DJ in a lot of trouble. The Vayne tumbling to her death, still rampant, flashing away. Hopefully going to get out of there with his life, just like Blitzcrank, but that is probably going to be the game. I do not see Blitzcrank and Zed being able to stop this assault that's going to come out. They still have the GA on Elise and on MF. And that was just, they wanted that fight so badly.
Tremendous. I know, and that was directly after Riot got Baron, so it seems like Baron is not actually buffing you. It's making you do poorly in teamfights. Still Rampant trying to duke it out with Misfortune right now. Gonna go ahead and go down. Mixed DJ being cheeky until the very end. Not hiding on
Come a little closer, come a little closer. I got a fist for you.
Going in for the grab, but it was not quite enough. And ladies and gentlemen, first game of the evening going to Community rather handedly. 34-27, a 52-minute long game. And the plays Skill Factory, I saw some pretty amazing stuff going on. It's a nice job.
Yeah, that was definitely awesome to watch. The plays by Baron of all things to secure kills for Community in that game. And I'm pretty sure that the Dragon and Baron were just falling over for Community and helping them win that game.